Baker, swim dodge, fires and scores!
Skipping a step behind the back! Pass, the extra look, and the goal! Shot on goal and good.
Thank you for joining us at Wantagh High School here on Long Island as we get ready for a matchup between two of the top 20 girls lacrosse teams in the country. Catholic League power St. Anthony's with an all-star roster led by two of the top 65 players in the nation take on a Wantagh program on the precipice of a Nassau Conference 1 title the last 2 years and looking to finally reclaim the crown, led by Northwestern commit Madison Taylor. It's two of the best on Long Island, two of the best in the country right now on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I'm Gavin Shaw alongside former Farmingdale head coach and Long Island Metropolitan Hall of Famer Tracy Weiner. Tracy, honored to be alongside you. And, boy, we should have ourselves a heck of a game today.
Well, we really should. And you know, I have the honor of knowing both of these coaches so well. Summer, I've coached with her in the past. Robin, obviously, you know, she played on our travel teams and stuff when she was a little kid, the Empire Games. Just all this great talent, and to see them paying it forward now at the high school level and seeing the new group that they're grooming, this is what girls lacrosse is all about. And
Tracy, let's get right into it. Our impact player of the game for the Friars, it's Abigail Lacasio. She's the 8th-ranked player in America. She's headed to Northwestern next year, and she leads a balanced and powerful attack for St. Anthony's.
Well, she sure does. And the thing about Abby, and again, I've known Abby since she's a little one because she comes from the town Lindenhurst that my kids are from, and my daughter and her played with each other before she left to go to St. Anthony's. She is a talent that is still untapped. Abby's best years are still ahead of her, as this team is so talented that she doesn't really have to put them on her back. But she is unbelievably skilled. She has a great stick, lefty, lethal. And again, the Lacasio name, anybody that knows lacrosse knows that she comes from a strong lacrosse pedigree.
And then let's head to another Northwestern commit for Wantagh. It's Madison Taylor, who head coach Robin Rooney calls perhaps the best player in the country. She said she is the best overall athlete I have ever seen. And high praise for Madison Taylor, who has been dominating Nassau County since she was a freshman.
Well, it is pretty high praise to think she's the best in the country. We'll find out this afternoon. She certainly deserves all the credit in the world for where Wantagh is. I mean, they are not as deep as St. Anthony's, but it's because of Madison Taylor and all that she puts on herself and all that she brings to the field. Her leadership is impeccable. Her, you know, the way that she includes everybody else on the team, she makes everybody around her better. And that's what makes Madison Taylor truly a special player.
Madison Taylor, just insane production so far this season. 46 points, 32 goals, 14 assists. And now let's get a look at the all-star laden lineup that she is going against with the St. Anthony Friars. And they are absolutely loaded. You mentioned Lacasio, but she is far from the only big name on this team.
Without a doubt. That goes without saying. I mean, when you look at St. Anthony's, that is the beautiful thing about, a private school, is that they can kind of, get the kids that they want, and they really do. Ava Biancardi, to me, is just another player that you have to look out for. When you think of St. Anthony's, you think of Lacasio and Biancardi. They go hand in hand. You have Tess Calabria, who, in my opinion, is the top recruit in the class of 2024. She's unbelievable. She has the best stick work I've ever seen of a kid her age. You look at their goalie play. Shea Lembo is great. You have Zenk as the backup. Zenk, again, is another kid. Today's her birthday, so to speak. And she is a kid that, in any other team would be the starting goalie.
Yeah.
She's one of the best, again, in the class of 2024. McAteer at the draw, unbelievable. They are just stacked in all the right positions. You look at Pacey, one of her stud defensive midfielder players. When you just look at all that St. Anthony's brings to the field, they have no weakness.
And now let's take a look at Wantagh, who maybe doesn't quite have the same depth, but you mentioned the front line talent. It's not just Maddie Taylor. The combination of Madison Alaimo and Eva Ingrilli has been dynamic the last couple of seasons for Robin Rooney.
And she's been fortunate to have those three healthy and in the program doing everything that they do. They are three studs, without a doubt. Three of the best players that any team on the island has. It's not in the private school sector. So when you look at the public schools, the only other team that could probably match up with them is a Manhasset-type school, and maybe a Northport. When you talk about the top players, they really have those three. When you look at Taylor, Alamo, and Ingrilli, they're almost unstoppable. The question for me today is going to be, can the defense stand up against what St. Anthony's going to be firing at them?
And Tracy, you mentioned when we were talking a little bit pregame, you think the draw control also going to be one of the essential factors in this game?
Yeah, well, in girls lacrosse, it is one of the biggest factors, as we all know, because it's all about possession. And unlike college, you cannot, there's no shot clock, so you can run out as much time as you want. So once you possess the ball, that's it. Everything else falls into place. You can take your time. You can set up plays. You can work the ball around. You can hold it from the other team. If I'm Wantagh, that's my whole game plan. I win the draw. I'm going to keep the ball out of my defensive end, try to spread out the offense, work some time off the clock, because the longer I have it, obviously the less time St. Anthony's has it.
And that's where you can compensate for that depth disparity. You have a player like Maddie Taylor who's capable of dominating in
Correct.
the draw circle. That gives you a real chance. I thought it was interesting talking to Robin Rooney this week. She said, everyone keeps talking to me about this game, and they say, keep it close, stay competitive. And she said, no, we can beat them. We feel like they're sort of an all-star version of us, but we play similar ways. This is a Wantagh team a season ago that beat Garden City, Manhasset, Cold Spring Harbor all in one season. Robin Rooney said it, when we're great, we're really great. Wantagh feels like they can be competitive in this one.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And the thing that I'm going to say to you is that all it takes in girls sports is that one victory, that one win that puts you over the top. That one game where you can say to your girls, see what I've been telling you? We are the best. We can compete with the best, and that's all we need. Once a girls team has confidence, sky's the limit.
So a quick look at our Varsity Media Girls Lacrosse Sweet 16. St. Anthony's number 2 behind undefeated Northport, who we will have for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network this Saturday. And Wantagh ranked number 7, though they would certainly shoot way up with a win today. We will step aside for a sec. We will come back with the start of this game. It's Wantagh against St. Anthony's next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect sets and music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Thank you for joining us back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We are about to get underway. Wantagh against St. Anthony's, two of the top 20 girls teams in the nation, and we wanted to remind you of all the services we offer here at Varsity Media, including college recruiting videos. We'll give you custom editing effects to help your players stand out from the crowd, your choice of music, and a link to send out to college coaches. So why sign up? You have an opportunity to save a whole lot of money in college tuition, help land a spot on your kid's dream team, and stand out from the competition. You can contact us at 516-403-2050 or via email jeff@varsitymedia.net. If you mention this ad, you'll get 10% off.
This is a great thing. Being involved in it for so many years and being on the summer circuit, what the big thing about the recruiting and the videos is that the college season and the high school season are against each other at the same time. College coaches really have no other outlet to see these players play except in the summertime perhaps, but they're not even going to come to the field without you whetting their appetite with these videos and everything else and the stats that are provided by these college recruiting videos. So I think it's a great thing. And like I said, being there is half the battle.
Yeah, these are two programs that do a great job of marketing their athletes, but Varsity Media allows you to take it up to the next level. And if you want to bring your game to life, why not participate in a Varsity Media Sportscast? We have announcers, as you can hear right now, instant replay, multiple camera angles, graphics. It's great for rivalry games, senior days, and general promotion of your team. If you want to book a Sportscast, you can give us a call or text at 516-403-2050 or visit varsitymedia.net. So we are getting ready to get started here. We've talked about a number of the key players on both sides, but I just want to explore the depth of
Sure.
St. Anthony's a little bit more because there are so many big names to get to. I mean, you started talking about Tess Calabria a little bit, but
Unbelievable.
man, oh man, as a sophomore, what a start to her season. 11 goals, 2 assists. She can play any position on the field, according to her head coach, Summer Copeland. Just a heck of a talent for the St. Anthony's program.
I noticed it immediately. So, she plays for me in the summers.
Right.
On my club team.
Long Island Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, she's
correct?
on my Yellow Jacket team with several of the girls from St. Anthony's here. But the minute she stepped on my field,
Yeah.
I looked at Carol Rose and, and my other assistant coaches, Raquel and Chris, and I'm like, this kid is special. You could just tell immediately who she was and that she was different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Just her stick work, her IQ. But what I like the most about her is that she is the most humble kid on the field. She just works. And, she's that type of kid that if a game is tied and I have to go to the tiebreaker, the ones that you play, the Bravehearts in the summer tournaments, she's my number one kid. And I can't tell you how many Bravehearts she's won for us because she's just that talented. And she just has a knack for the game. And parents will come up to me all the time and say, Trace, how do I teach my daughter to go to goal and be more aggressive? And I said, you can't teach that. You either have it or you don't. And Tess has it. And Tess has it times 10.
Yeah, Tracy, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
At this age, how many players have you seen of similar caliber? Is she sort of in a class of her own on Long Island?
She's in that class of her own right now. I mean, if you look back at, the past players, I'm going to say that she ranks with those kids that we would anticipate going to college at the highest level and possibly having opportunities. She reminds me of the Jamie Ortega type who's in college right now, who just makes everybody around her better, whether Jamie scores, whether she passes the ball off, or whether she's just riding hard.
And some other names to know across the board for St. Anthony's, of course, Kat McAteer, a senior defender, heading to Navy next year. The team leader, just one of those players who's extremely gritty, leads them in ground balls, leads them in forced turnovers. She's kind of the heart and soul and backs up all that offensive talent on this team.
She really does. I mean, and again, that's a kid that you're going to rely on to do the dirty in the 30s, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And those are the kids that really make or break your team. You know, it's one thing for the kids who are the finishers and the goalie who gets all the big saves, but when you're that kid who wins all the draws, who when there's a 50-50 ground ball in between the 30s, she's the one that it ends up in her stick, those kids are irreplaceable.
And then on the Wantagh side, I don't want to underplay the depth
Correct.
there. I mean, because compared to pretty much every other program on Nassau, they're extremely deep as well. How about the Nicholson sisters, Olivia and Julia? They have combined for 18 points, 15 goals on the season. They're dynamic. They do different things for Robin Rooney, but both key contributors.
And again, when you have the sisters out there, I love it. You know, they really, they're juniors. So I'm sure it's like bragging rights at the dinner table. Who gets that last biscuit? You know, when I scored more goals than you today, but also it's the familiarity.
Yeah.
You know, and you love that. When the sisters are out there, they know where each other is. They can play off each other. They're thinking on a whole different level. And again, those are the things that you can't teach. And that's what they bring to the field.
And we mentioned the production of Maddie Taylor, but I just want to take a second to note, Maddie Alimo through 7 games, 43 points this season, 31 goals, 12 assists.
Stud.
Eva Ingrilli, the USA Lacrosse Magazine Northeast Player of the Week back on April 6th. She scored a game winner against North Shore with 16 seconds left in that game. She has 14 goals, 17 assists, a true baller, according to her head coach, Robin Rooney. I'm really looking forward to in this game, Tracy, the stress that St. Anthony is going to put on those 3 girls, and you get a feeling that'll sort of bring out the best in them.
Absolutely. I think for me, the first 10 minutes is going to make or break this game.
Yeah.
If St. Anthony's busts out to a big lead in the first 10 minutes, it's going to take everything that Wantagh has in them just to try to catch up to St. Anthony's. But if they can stay neck and neck in the first 10 minutes, I think it's going to be down to the buzzer type game.
And it's an important note because Robin Rooney said, you know, we came out kind of flat against Garden City, and as she noted, this is pretty universally recognized. You come out flat against a team like Garden City, not going to end well. They lost 8-7 in that game, and she's noted she's really been focused on the mental side, and I'm sure this applies to the St. Anthony's program as well, but she said, look, my girls play travel lacrosse all summer. My preseason is like most teams' regular season. They come ready to play. They come in shape. There's no issues with fitness. There's no issues with skill level. It's about being right mentally, and she said that is so crucial playing a powerhouse like St. Anthony's.
Absolutely, and especially when you do it during the break. You know, now they're out of their routine. You know, everybody's kind of, yesterday was Easter Sunday, probably had no practice, obviously, yesterday. The day before, you know, family was over, everybody was gathering, this and that, and now you have to get up and play, you know, St. Anthony's. So it's just a matter of seeing how everybody reacts to any given situation. They have a beautiful day out. You know, you can't blame the weather today, although it is a little windy. But other than that, it's absolutely a beautiful day for lacrosse.
So about to get started here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We will step aside one final time, come back for the start of this one.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Back at Wantagh High School, look inside Robin Rooney's huddle. And Robin, in her 4th year as head coach of Wantagh, she got her start, Tracy. You said you coached her from a young age. She didn't start playing the game until 7th grade at a lax camp at Lou High. Immediately was pretty successful, apparently. Went on to a great career at Calhoun and then at UConn. And now in her 4th year coaching this Wantagh side.
Yeah, her nickname was the Rocket. We used to call her Rocket Robin. She just, you know, was money. And she probably still holds every record that Calhoun High School has. There's no doubt in my mind. And she was on our first and original Empire State team when the Empire State games used to take place. She was one of our key kids and just a workhorse. Always.
And she has this Wantagh program in a great place. They've had a number of close calls in 2019. They lost to Cold Spring Harbor in the Nassau Class C championship game. That was a 10-7 game, 2020, obviously no season. And then last year, absolutely heartbreaking, a 9-8 loss to Manhasset. They were down big early in that game, fought all the way back. Just a star-studded team. We mentioned Maddie Taylor, Maddie Alimo, Eva and Grilly, but there was a heck of a lot of talent lost from last season's team for Wantagh. 8 of the 11 starters graduate, including McKenna Booten now at Rutgers, Shannon Sullivan, who's been the CAA Rookie of the Week twice at Townsend so far, Shay and Singa, who's been great at Sacred Heart. So as good as Wantagh is, you could argue last season's team might have been even better. And Robin Rooney, you mentioned the shot clock earlier. She said if there was a shot clock in that game, she feels very strongly they could have won.
Well, and we talked about it again before the game was over. I was standing with Robin and Summer, and we were just talking about, the idea of high school sports is to get the girls ready for college, except in the sport of lacrosse, because the rules are still so different. They have shot clock. They have 4 quarters now. They don't play 2 halves. The defenders are allowed to run through the crease. We don't allow it in high school, and I'll just never understand why the rules don't change so that we can better prepare our girls for college. That being said, her team last year, and, you never want to say that, the team coming back isn't as talented, because they set the bar, though.
Right.
That team that she had last year was stacked, and if they were ever going to have that year that they could have been a county champion, that was the year. I mean, and I did the Cold Spring Harbor game a couple of years ago. Again, Cold Spring Harbor was stacked back then. Their coach, Danielle Castellane, played for me in high school back in the day, Candy.
Yeah.
They all know each other really well, and she does a great job at Cold Spring Harbor as well.
And Maddie Taylor, Eva and Grilly, Maddie Alimo, all playing a big role, even going back to that Cold Spring Harbor game. Alimo and Grilly, just 8th graders, but they were in and made a significant contribution. So about to get underway here at Wantagh High School. Maddie Taylor, again, this is the factor in this game. Can she dominate in draw control? As the ball gets flipped high and Taylor takes it, it'll be Wantagh in possession to start things off.
That's a big draw control. Let's see what they do. Let's see if they can get everybody involved. And they need to just see the kind of defense that St. Anthony's is going to play. Let everybody touch the ball, get the nerves out, and then, take a high percentage shot. Whether it goes in or not, just make sure it's a high percentage shot.
Madison Taylor, the strongest shot of anyone on the team, absolutely rips it, according to head coach Robin Rooney. She will probably be asked to shoot from far away because it's so hard to get inside on this defense, but not so much in the early going. I believe that was Erin Whitaker on the first goal of this game.
Well, and when you watch this goal, what happens is everybody thinks if Whitaker's going to go around the other side, so they go to double the crease, and instead the defender just leaves too early. And then Whitaker's like, okay, look, now there's nobody with me. That's it. It's one-on-one with the goalie. And there's no way to get back in time because you're not allowed to cut through the crease. So at that point, it's really a one-on-nobody. Baker tries to get back as fast as she can, but it's just not in time.
Erin Whitaker, a Winthrop commit, a team captain. That's her 4th goal of this season. And this is the start that we were talking about that Wantagh needed to make this a competitive game.
All starts with the draw control.
And Taylor wins another one, though the officials will slow things down for the moment.
So interesting, I'll never understand the officials' call. There should be a play on if it's a call in there.
It slows your momentum. You're trying to attack an unsettled defense, and all of a sudden you get that reset.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to get the reset anymore. It's just supposed to be a quick start, so I didn't, I'll never understand it, and there's no way of talking to the officials and getting a sane answer.
Both these teams love to play up-tempo. I think that's what Robin Rooney was hinting at when she said they were mirror images of each other, and Summer Copeland noting that an essential variable in this game. Can they slow down the Wantagh offense? But another nice pass and another goal for Wantagh. This time it's Maddie Alimo getting on the board.
Alimo makes a great play here, and when, again, it starts with a great pass, though. It comes from behind, and look at that. Again, it's the same, it looks like just the same areas are being attacked the whole time. They're going to have to watch that as they move forward. Obviously, somewhere in the tape, and here you see that weak side pipe is constantly being left open, and you can't do that against these top teams. They are going to expose that, no doubt.
Are you surprised at all by the start for Wantagh?
Yeah, I am. I'm watching to see where the breakdown is. And is St. Anthony's in a matchup? Is that the problem? And then they're just exposing the matchups. And is it taking away from that defensive end? Because if you have one player's in a lock-off, it's going to leave the weak side open, always.
Madison Taylor wins another one, this time against the Villanova commit Rose Christie. Taylor putting on some pace, and she gets knocked down. So presumably free position coming up for Madison Taylor.
And that could be a yellow card. There it is. I was going to say, when you get full extension like that and you knock a girl, off her feet, that's over-aggressive.
And Kat McAteer is the tone setter for the St. Anthony side. That time, a little bit too heavy on the tone. She's out. So it'll be a woman-up advantage situation for Wantagh.
And this is a Wantagh dream start. This is exactly what they were looking for. This is exactly the type of start that they wanted.
And Summer Copeland noting that her side hasn't gotten to play the competition to get acclimated that she's wanted. They lost to McDonough, the number 3 team in the country, out of Maryland. But even before that game, they were supposed to have played Wantagh and Syosset already. Those games got pushed back due to weather. This game was originally set to take place on April 2nd, now being played 16 days later. And the Friars, only having played 5 games this season, looking a little sluggish coming out. So Taylor's double team. She'll try and dump it off inside. Her pass intended for Whitaker, deflected, but now a shot goes off the crossbar. Oh, man, nearly an early 3-0 lead for Wantagh, as that was a golden opportunity for Julia Nicholson, and we get our initial look at St. Anthony's on offense.
And sometimes all you need is a little luck. And that was it. And again, if I'm the Wantagh coach now, I am going to talk to my girls about this moving forward, because there was no need to force that. There was no need to force that play on offense. There was no need to go right to goal. You had a 2-minute penalty. You're already up 2-0. The one thing that you want to do is make sure, again, you got those high percentage shots and not give St. Anthony's an opportunity to do what they're doing now, which is run off the penalty.
And turnover forced by Erin Whitaker, and she'll start off the transition for Wantagh. Quick ball movement, Madison Alimo with a whole lot of room. Alimo puts on a dodge, looking for an angle, can't find one against Taylor Cullen. Still an opportunity for Wantagh. Oh, man, Taylor thought about zipping one in. Extra pass. Perfect ball movement, and it'll be free position for Wantagh.
Yeah, obstruction of shooting space there, but, it's unfortunate they didn't let the play on, because what she did was draw the defender, and again, the weak side pipe was open for a slam dunk, but they got the shooting space call instead.
So it's Olivia Nicholson against Shea Lembo. Lembo, the Stanford commit, trying to stand tall. Nicholson straight to the net, off the mark. Good closeout from St. Anthony's defensively, and a loose ball picked up by Samantha Baker.
What a great play by Baker. That was great stick work on that. Had she let it go over the end line, it would have gone back to Wantagh.
And now we finally get a look at this St. Anthony's attack that is so star-studded. McAteer, who was out with that yellow card, will get free position about 30 yards out of goal. St. Anthony's does not run a lot of set plays on offense. They like to leverage their athletic ability as that bouncer dribbles into the back of the net by Tanner Scarola.
Scarola gets a decent look at the cage here. It's a bounce shot. Goalie does get a piece of it, but unfortunately just not enough, and it dribbles in past her.
It was deflected by Nicole Schaumloffel as we take another look.
You'll see here, and again, there it is. Schaumloffel gets her stick on it. She sees the ball, but it trickles behind her.
Schaumloffel, one of 2 goalies that plays for Robin Rooney. She typically plays the entire first half. Lauren Rochelle, a fellow junior, gives a different look as a righty, will normally come in the second half unless Schaumloffel's really rolling as she was against Garden City where she played the full game. But what does that do for you if you're St. Anthony's? And to your point, a nightmare start to this game, nearly 3-0, but you survive that woman down situation. You come back, you get a goal. Does that settle you a little bit as a team?
Yeah, and it frustrates me if I'm the Wantagh coach. You have everything in your way. You have the 2-minute, man up. You had everything going your way, and instead of being up 3-4-0, which you had 2 opportunities, you hit the post twice. Now all of a sudden it's 2-1 and St. Anthony's can breathe. And
you're so reliant on Maddie Taylor just dominating the draw control, but this time scooped up by Rose Christie, and St. Anthony's an opportunity to tie this ball game up.
Okay, and again, that's nothing that's going to show on the stat sheet, but what a smart play by Tess Calabria. Instead of going one-on-one with Taylor trying to pick that up, she just takes a field hockey shot and puts it into open space where where the rest of her teammates are.
Abby Lacasio, a little handoff on the run, trying to dodge near the crease was Calabria. Instead, she'll move it on to Scarola. Scarola hunting for her second goal. Well defended. Circling is Abby Lacasio. Hounded. Fantastic defense by Wantagh. It's Catherine Killian on Lacasio.
Well, they look like they're playing... almost a zone-type defense. Everybody's out high. Everybody's moving. You have the backer right there.
Ava Biancardi using the screen, fires wide. And it's interesting because the quote I got from Robin Rooney when asked to describe her defense, if you can play man, you should, but maybe St. Anthony's the type of team you have to muck it up a little bit against.
They're playing man, but they're playing tight man, and I'm not sure that that's a defense I would use personally against St. Anthony's.
Calabria, a couple fakes, losing the ball. It's on the precipice of goal, but
lost her footing on that one. She had beaten her defender.
And Wantagh, again, they will push at every opportunity. Maddie Taylor, also stars on the basketball team, just a ridiculous overall athlete.
I like to hear that. Basketball and lacrosse correlate so well on the field.
It's almost a combination, the best of basketball and the best of soccer. You get a little bit of all those sports.
Yeah, soccer's kind of a four-letter word for me. I'm not a
all
big
right,
fan.
I promise the rest of the broadcast, I'll only say football.
Thank you.
Yeah. Zipped in, and what a shot!
Wow.
3-1. An absolute bullet from Eva Ingrilli.
You saw that. You saw Ingrilli wind it up. Once her hands were free and she was able to really put some mustard on that, you can't even blame that on Lembo. I mean, that's just an unbelievable D1 shot. That's what you're looking for if you're a D1 coach. Hands are free, pick a corner, let's go.
The North Carolina commit with her 15th goal, 32nd point of this early season.
Unbelievable.
Robin Rooney saying pregame, you know, she's probably the most accurate shooter on our team, and her and Alimo, as much as Maddie Taylor gets the hype, they'll just hit some shots that you kind of do a double take. You're like, how did that go in? And a perfect example of it there.
Without a doubt. I mean, hands were free, got all the power on it, and that's the kind of shot she's going to have to take to be successful at North Carolina. You want to get on the field at UNC, who is currently ranked like, number 1 in the country. That's what you have to do.
And Grilly, again, still has one more season.
Can you imagine? That good as an 11th grader. Holy cow.
Taylor can't handle it, so Tess Calabria, that name again, will run down that ground ball.
But you see they've changed their strategy on the draw. It's no more trying to win the self-draw. Now it's as soon as the ball hits the ground, we're going to scoop it into open space and do a foot race.
And St. Anthony's with the turnover there was Tanner Scarola looking for Meredith McFarland, cutting across the crease, unable to find her.
Surprising. At this point, if I'm Summer, I'm telling the girls, take a deep breath when we get the ball on offense. Let's set up a play. Let's let the defense and the middies rest for a minute. But I know they're both run and gun. I mean, I'm a run and gun type player too. I'm the same way. But right now, Wantagh is getting the best of the turnover game.
Wantagh trying to break the ride. Risky pass, but Maddie Taylor able to salvage it. Now things open up for Wantagh. Taylor thought about firing from deep. You could see the look in her eyes. The gears were turning.
They were. The thing about Maddie Taylor that I like about that play, again, is if you are the best player technically on a team,
sure, you
need to make plays like she just did. Team's in trouble, looks like it's about to be a turnover, and instead you go out there and demand the ball and bring everything back to calmness.
And that was the big emphasis of Robin Rooney's with those 8 seniors graduating in the starting lineup. This is Maddie Taylor's team now. She might have been, almost undoubtedly was the best player going back to last season, but now this is very much her responsibility to not just be the physical leader in terms of her goal scoring, but the emotional leader, and she's taken that on her shoulders and has done a great job with it.
Correct. And that's another thing. It's one thing to be the best player. It's another thing to recognize what the coach needs and wants from you, and for you to take that responsibility on your shoulders and be okay with it.
Fantastic bit of defending by Rose Christie there, nearly forcing the turnover, but got a little too aggressive, so it'll be Faith Donahue resetting the offense. And again, Wantagh up-tempo, but showing some patience now, and Taylor pays it off. Oh, man, what a shot.
It was just a matter of time. I mean, she's been cranking her stick and cranking her stick and cranking her stick for the last 3 possessions, so you knew it was just a matter of time till she was going to take it and go to goal.
A 4-1 lead for Wantagh. Again, Robin Rooney, we'll keep noting it, said pregame. People kept telling her, hey, just keep it close against St. Anthony's. And she told her girls, there's no reason we can't win this game. Long way to go, but they're playing like it right now.
Absolutely. And her big players are stepping up big. And let's see how St. Anthony's reacts. You know, there's not a lot of games in a season for St. Anthony's where they actually have to come back from behind.
And they have had a couple of challenges in the early going. Again, that loss to McDonough 10-7. Against Sacred Heart, they were down early, fought their way back. And according to Summer Copeland, it's been a really good thing for her team because last year they went 12-0. She said, maybe we trailed by a goal once or twice, but we never really faced a significant deficit. Maybe it's better competition, just a different year, but they're getting it this season, and Wantagh giving Summer Copeland and these Friars all they can handle in the early going.
Yeah, well, they're losing the 50-50 game, St. Anthony's right now. And, again, possession is all what the girls' lacrosse game is about. And you have to be, I call, like I said, dirty in the 30s. And right now, Wantagh is winning that game.
And Summer Copeland said, you know, that was a big issue for them when they took on McDonough, again, a team that has two of the top 3 players in the nation, according to Inside Lacrosse. She said, typically, with our athleticism, we're just automatically going to win ground balls. That wasn't the case against McDonough. It's, again, not the case against this Wantagh team. And she said that was an emphasis, like, you got to grind to get those possessions.
Correct. And Wantagh is that type of team. They're always going to come at you. They're not afraid of a challenge, that's for sure.
Couple of dodges put on by Taylor. What a pass inside and another goal. This one paid off by Riley Forthofer.
Every single goal, in case you haven't noticed, from Wantagh has been off an assist. And that is the ball is moving faster than the defense can move. And it's unbelievable. They're finding girls wide open. They're not even being challenged on these shots. They're draws and dumps. They're passing and give and goes. They're just unbelievable what they're doing. They're playing the girls' game right now the way it's been drawn up. We always kid around and say the game is easy. The kids make it difficult. Wantagh's making it look easy right now.
Just the cohesion, the unselfishness, and the passing instincts, to your point. The vision has been so good. And it's amazing to think, again, that this is a Wantagh team that lost 8 starters because you just get the feeling these girls have played together for years and years and years, and perhaps they have, but maybe not against the St. Anthony's, but it looks like Wantagh is just playing another team today.
They're playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. And again, when you do that, when all the girls out here are athletes, there's no question about it. Right now, Wantagh's lacrosse IQ is winning this game.
Kat McAteer, a big scoop, trying to go coast to coast. Cannot find a lane.
And no need. You don't need to do that. Right now, what you need to do is score a goal. That's what you need to do. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to take a low percentage shot. Right now, St. Anthony needs to stop Wantagh's momentum.
It's that classic coach is saying there's no 4-goal shot, right? But McAteer does do a good job earning free position, a prime opportunity. One-on-one with Shamloffel.
I think did they get a yellow card on that or no? Or is it just a sub?
I don't believe so, but I might have missed it.
Well, we'll see. If she sits down 23 right here, then she's in the box.
McAteer, plenty of space, will pass it off to Rose Christie, who I don't know if she was ready for that. Taylor nearly dispossessing Christie. Christie will get a reset.
I'm just wondering if Suris Isabel right here is in the Wantagh.
As a lob pass is sent inside, and unable to handle it was Ava Biancardi.
Unforced errors are right now going to be the nemesis of St. Anthony's, and something that they're not used to. And again, that's what we were talking about before, watching them having to play from behind.
Again, this is St. Anthony's program that has the opportunity to have some of the top kids from all over Long Island. And what's brilliant about the job Summer Copeland has done is there's a great cohesion, and you're seeing it right now in transition. 3-on-1 opportunity, and it's an easy one for Megan Kenny.
What a great play. That was so pretty that, again, it's a turnover. You're running a 3-on-1, basically, and you make the right decision. Look at that. You have everybody running there, but Kenny, look how patient she is as well. So that's something, if you're watching this game and you want to learn how to play appropriately, every time you get it doesn't have to be an automatic. Throw a fake in, make the goalie move, and then just find the open spot.
And if you're Nicole Schaumlauf, there's not really much you can do in that situation.
There's nothing you can do but guess. It's almost like in my favorite sport, soccer.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't want to say it.
when you're doing the penalty kicks, you sometimes just have to guess right.
And it feels like how the rest of this first half will go will sort of be contingent on, can Maddie Taylor keep it up? She was the clear winner in those first couple of draw controls. The last few, I think St. Anthony's has done a better job of generating ground balls, and then their speed on the perimeter is sort of taken over.
Absolutely. And this is going to be where we talk about the depth. Wantagh's come out on fire, but can you maintain that for 30 minutes against a team that can throw some kids in and give their starters a breather, and they're still just as good?
To your point, St. Anthony's, they very much come in waves. Oh, wow, what a turnaround on that draw control by McAteer. And it's McFarland, whose name we haven't said a whole lot. She has 8 goals this season.
That was a great draw control right there.
Just the force that she got it out with.
And well needed. They just have to get it away from Taylor, obviously, and that's a compliment to her.
Lacasio hunting for space, trying to hit Biancardi right in front of the net. And now it's Taylor trying to beat the ride. And she has it knocked away from behind. What a move by Rose Christie. One-on-one opportunity with the goaltender. Biancardi puts on a fake and puts in the shot.
That was from start to finish. If we can watch that whole replay, and you do need to call a timeout. Good call, Robin Rooney, right there. But if you get to watch this play from start to finish and ask any college coach, I expect you to make a mistake. I want to see what you do after. The redefend, when they turned the ball over and got the ball back, was textbook.
It was Rose Christie knocking it away. A timeout for Wantagh. We will take one as well here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 2-goal lead for the Warriors.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
So back to it on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 5-3 lead for Wantagh over St. Anthony's. The Friars, though, some momentum, scoring the last 2 goals in this one after Wantagh got off to a 5-1 start. And we wanted to give you the opportunity to join our team here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Let Varsity Media help promote your business. We have affordable rates, customizable packages to fit any budget. We will help grow your brand through our SPORTSCAST. If you're interested, you can contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Contact us today to advertise. And Tracy, you were noting during the break, you feel like that last turnover and transition goal, a potential turning point in this game.
Without a doubt. And, again, we don't expect anybody to be perfect. It's what you do after, it doesn't work out in your favor. Christie's redefend was so perfect that Taylor didn't even see it coming because she was worried about the girls in front of her. The back redefend. And again, anybody watching this game, you need to understand that you want to play at the college level, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that hustle. They're looking for that, okay, I might have made a mistake. I might have turned the ball over, but I'm going to do everything in my power to get the ball back. And what I find most interesting, we are 10 minutes into this game, right? 15 minutes into the game. All we've been doing is talking about Wantagh. It's 5-3. It's not like we're talking about a 10-0 game or, for as much as Wantagh has been dominating this game, it's a 5-3 game. And you still have half of the half left.
It gives you an idea of the level of perfection the Warriors need in this one, given the, I hesitate to say talent disparity, because again, the frontline talent is very similar, and the depth for Wantagh for any quote-unquote normal public high school is fantastic, but what St. Anthony's brings to the table is just a little bit different than what you see on the public school side.
Any high-level game, when I coached at Farmingdale, our biggest games, when you played Garden City, when you played Manhasset, when we played, Cold Spring Harbor, Northport, whatever your big game was, you had to sustain that momentum for the whole 30 minutes or, the whole 50 minutes of a game, 25-minute halves back in the day, so you have to stay at that level. And then you also have to recognize, like I said, I love how Wantagh is aggressive, but there are still points in the game where sometimes you just need to run some clock off and just make sure that the less St. Anthony's possesses it, the better chance we have of winning.
And that's somewhat antithetical to what Robin Rooney likes to do. I mean,
I'm the same way.
She was the one noting that, hey, last year against Manhasset, there's a shot clock. We were the better team. We win that game. But you go up against the St. Anthony's, the dynamic changes just a little bit. And I thought that last play encapsulated it perfectly. Maddie Taylor typically is such an athletic advantage on those clears. She's going to find space. She's going to win the ball. By that time, Rose Christie said, hey, I'm going to Villanova. I'm a Division I athlete, too, able to dispossess her. Easy goal for the Duke commit, Ava Biancardi. And now we have St. Anthony's ball and a chance to make it a one-goal game.
Correct.
A quick duck in, a spinorama, and losing it was Megan Kenny, looking for her second goal, and Wantagh will earn it back in this.
Right.
If they can clear it, a good opportunity to, as you said, run some clock.
Absolutely. And again, here's a play where St. Anthony's has been scratching and clawing to get back in. You have a chance for a one-goal game, and what do? You force a pass in the middle of the 8-meter. For what purpose? For what purpose when you've been taking your time and breaking down the defense? Continue to do that and continue to take a high percentage shot instead of a quick turnover.
Feels like St. Anthony's is contesting every inch of grass. Maddie Taylor, though, good look-ahead pass to get it to Ingrilli, and Wantagh will have possession on their end.
Well, I bet Maddie Taylor runs about 7-8 miles a game. Guaranteed. She is everywhere on the field for Wantagh.
And to just have the stamina to keep it up again, she'll be playing her college ball at Northwestern, one of the best programs in the nation, and you get the feeling she's the type of competitor, the type of athlete who'd come in as a freshman and potentially make an impact right away.
Well, she's exactly what Kelly Amante looks for. She'll take an athlete anytime and amp them up by 10, and she'll get to play with Lacasio. That's just going to be a great experience for both of them. Kelly Amante, widely regarded as one of the best coaches in the country.
Taylor trying to find some space right now, cannot. I like the patience there from Taylor, not forcing the issue, just keeping it moving.
I'm sure that's what they discussed. If I know Robin as well as I do, I'm sure she just said to the girls, just breathe. Yes, we're run and gun, but not everything has to be done in the first 10 seconds of possession.
Alaimo looking for a cutter, not finding any as she's guarded by Sammy Baker. She'll attempt to reset to Whitaker. And the ball was free for a second. Forthofer able to recover. Forthofer, just a freshman, had that early goal. Wantagh certainly has some young talent in their own right. Taylor doubled and throws it away. Good double team by St. Anthony's.
And that is good. And the double team is girls don't like girls in their personal space, ever. Whether it's on the field or off the field, So every once in a while you throw a double team at a player and see how she reacts. I love it.
Great run by Taylor Cullen on the clear. Was Amanda Pacey who got the interception for St. Anthony's.
Underrated kid. So talented and athletic, just an athletic beast.
Also a star on the basketball team is Tanner Scarola. Looks for her second goal and gets it. What a shot by Scarola. And we have ourselves a one-goal game.
What Scarola does on this one is she moves the defense. I don't even think the goalie is able to see this one. There's so many kids in front of her at this point. There's like 3 or 4 girls, and then she just picks a corner. I mean, that's so difficult of a save to make on such a perfect shot.
And how about the ability, keeping her stick so high that it was very difficult to contest, and then, to your point, perfect ball placement as well.
Yeah, I tell my team all the time, high to high is the devil. Because that's the one thing that a goalie can see all the time. It's pitch and catch if you shoot it high. What you need to do is shoot low as often as you can because they have to make that adjustment. They have to look down, they have to find the ball, move their body, move their stick, and in that time the ball has a good opportunity to get in the back of the cage. But girls, they love to shoot it high and hard, and that's just, you can sit on the bench if you're going to do that for me.
So great placement by Scarola, who came into this game with just 3 goals on the season, already has 2 today. The Clemson commit having herself a morning.
She's going to have fun down in Clemson, I'll tell you that. The facility that they're building there is absolutely state-of-the-art. Obviously financially they have the ability to do whatever they want down there. It's going to be a great experience.
I think I read at one point the football team might have a water slide. So if it's anything similar to that, she's more than set.
It's beautiful. I know the coach down there really well. Allison's going to do a great job, the former Richmond head coach.
Ingrilli and Alaimo play catch at X. And again, Wantagh a little bit more meticulous now as St. Anthony's is really locked in defensively.
Well, they probably adjusted their matchups.
And Ingrilli looking for Taylor, had that one deflected.
What a great play. I believe that is
I think Sammy
Baker's
there.
on there, yeah.
Taylor, good dodge, but there's always a second defender waiting for her. A Limo spin move. Well defended by Cullen. Feels like St. Anthony's has found their footing. And Grilly, good cut, but unable to handle the pass was Whitaker.
And then St. Anthony's off to the race. Let's see what they do here on the fast break.
Is Rose Christie, who got that great deflection. The Villanova commit lofts a pass in, a dump ball shot. Beautiful lacrosse for St. Anthony's. As that goal is put in.
That was gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. You know, you just can't draw it up any better than that, to be honest with you.
5-5 game. Looked like Ava Biancardi on the finish. Would be her second.
She makes it look so easy, doesn't she?
Just so natural running the field. And
smooth.
I think it was something Summer Copeland said pregame. I was asking her, where's Ava gotten better this year? And she said, her cutting's gotten so good, but she just catches everything now. It's such a underrated fundamental, but you take for granted when someone's automatic, but Biancardi at this point, automatic.
I remember always saying to my team, on the boys' end, they don't worry about that. Boys just catch and throw. They throw it around, they whip it at each other. They never worry about it. So neither should you. Let's go.
And a big draw control win, at least initially, but then Kat McAteer got a stick on it and one possession for St. Anthony's. Now speeding in is Scarola. St. Anthony's looking for their first lead of this one.
St. Anthony's figure out a way to win the draw in the last 5 or 6, and that's the reason they're able to come back into this game.
And it's not even an initial win usually. It's the secondary options, the players on the perimeter finding a way to get the loose ball. Locasio, a couple spins, will reset to Kenny. Kenny already has a goal in the game.
Well, I think that they realize that Taylor's going to win a majority of the draw, so they just send somebody stick side and smack it out of there.
And doesn't that encapsulate the problem for Wantagh when play? It's the depth. Taylor can win, but you won't necessarily get the ball.
Correct. You can give up the win as long as you have the backside check waiting. So it's not really a win.
And we've seen that over and over again for St. Anthony. Even in ride situations, they aren't taking possession for granted.
Well, they're patient as well, even on their defense.
Scarola against 3 defenders, and there's a big-time save for Shamlaufel.
That is. And where did that shot go? High. Then there you go. Now you just built the goalie's confidence. It's like, okay, I'm back on track. I saved one. I'm good. Those high shots will be the end of you.
Taylor again working the clear. A bit of room now for Faith Donaghy. Donaghy charging in, will give it off. And again, St. Anthony's recovers well. Wantagh will slow things down with right around 8 minutes left in this first half. We haven't seen a Limo really get going yet. 31 goals on the season, just 1 in the early going. Couple of fakes put on, and that one off the mark from a Limo. And ground ball lost for a moment, but then Sammy Baker able to come back up with it.
Yep, I think Lembo got a piece of that one as well.
Lembo, a junior, sat behind Aaron O'Brady, who's now at Michigan a year ago. Lembo, this tells you where the St. Anthony's program is at. She is starting the 6th game of her career. She's already committed to Stanford. That's pretty good.
That's great. Stanford is beautiful. She's never going to come home. Stanford is like going to school at a country club.
Palo Alto, not a bad place.
It's gorgeous there. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the coaching staff. Love everything about it.
They're having a great season. Got a couple of big wins against USC the last couple of weeks.
Without a doubt.
So some good future ahead for Shea Lembo. Again, just her 6th career start.
Yeah, I mean, and get to go to Stanford.
But again, Lembo has, and it was a concern for Summer Copeland, just how battle-tested is this team. You go down to Maryland, you play McDonough, again, 2 of the top 3 players in the nation on midfield and attack. You get kind of put through that fire real quick, and St. Anthony's, I think you're starting to see that in how they've responded here against Wantagh.
Well, they're confident, and they just never get rattled, even when they're down. scratch and claw our way back. We'll be fine.
And Tracy, you know this better than anyone, but getting to play those games in the summer on the travel circuit, the opportunity to face the best competition in the nation, game in and game out, they face the best competition at home. They get to travel to Maryland. It almost is if a lot of these girls are already playing college lacrosse.
And then, St. Anthony's, I mean, the facility there is second to none. They're indoors half the time. They're spoiled.
Loft pass and a bouncer finds the back of the net. Olivia Nicholson, great touch.
And that's what's going to have to happen if Wantagh wants to stay in this game. Yes, they have the big three, but 4, 5, and 6 are going to have to step up. And you see right here, Nicholson finds the space. She has the better defensive matchup at the moment, and she's able to bury her shot.
Nicholson, a Siena commit, so essential for this team in transition, but another one of those girls that just does all the dirty work for Robin Rooney. Along with her twin sister Julia, has just made herself absolutely essential in this lineup. And I think it's the brilliance of Taylor, Alimo, and Ingrilli. It doesn't have to be them. They're content to draw attention, dump it off, let other girls shine. And I think that's what's made Wantagh so potent in the early going of this game and in the early going of this season.
Correct. And again, it comes down to the matchups. Everybody knows who the big three are. Okay, we get that. They're going to get the big three defenders. So now we look at 4, 5, 6. Can they expose their matchups? And can you as a coach draw up the plays that expose those matchups without being obvious? So it looks like the big three are getting the ball and you're concentrating on them on your offense, but the reality of it is it's not going to them.
Kat McAteer taking over in that draw control circle. It was a slow start for St. Anthony, but ever since McAteer has been in there, she's dominated against Maddie Taylor, which is not something that's commonly said.
No, but the interesting thing is when McAteer didn't take the first few draws, I thought to myself, wow, I'm wondering what Summer's mindset is behind that, because McAteer's legit.
Headed to Navy a season from now, looping around and firing off the sidebar was Lacasio. And Taylor will take it on the deflection. Player down for St. Anthony's. I think it is Lacasio, so we'll see what that's about. Hope she's all right.
I'm not sure if on the crease roll she took a shot, or did she I know she's already got, she's probably already banged up in general. She's a tough kid, though. She's a Lindy Bulldog. Come on, even though she's wearing that St. Anthony's uniform. She's a tough one.
Again, Lacasio, the 8th-ranked player in America per Inside Lacrosse.
She's so good.
And Tracy, we were talking about this little pregame. You feel like she's so far away from unlocking her full potential.
Oh, 100%. 100%. When Kelly Amante gets a hold of her, you're going to see a completely different kid. And you think she's good now? Wait until, her sophomore year of college.
Yeah, and her and Maddie Taylor leading that recruiting class. The best college coaches in the country always have their eyes on Long Island. I mean, I was going through USC's roster the other day. You see Bayport, Blue Point, Wantagh, Manhasset. Yeah, every school represented. It's pretty amazing. Just what the sport of lacrosse does for these kids and gets them to all these great institutions. Couple of moves put on. Backside pass by Ingrilli, broken up. Alimo couldn't grab it, and then Cullen will come in and snag the loose ball.
I remember last year when Boston College won the national championships, I texted Acacia, and I said to her, Long Island girls killing it. I mean, there's so many on the Boston College roster. I was like, good for you, Acacia.
It's pretty incredible stuff, and it's so cool to see all these girls that will either continue to play against each other on the college level, or in the case of Taylor and Lacasio, be teammates on the college level, getting to go up against each other now. A little bit of potential for smack talk over the next 4 years.
Little bragging rights, right?
Gives you that extra bit of motivation, not that either of them need it. A
so true.
6-5 lead for Wantagh over St. Anthony's. Again, the Friars, the nominal favorite coming into this game, the 6th-ranked team in America. Wantagh got off to a 5-1 start. St. Anthony's 4 in a row to tie it up. A big-time answer by Olivia Nicholson, and that leaves us with a 1-goal game. Final 4 minutes of this first half. And looping into space is Scarola, and she drew the goalie out and finished with ease.
And she had the flag, so she had it both ways there. And again, when her shot, I'd like to see the placement of this shot. She comes around. The goalie comes out high on this one, gives a little bit more shooting space, I think. But Scarola has been the one. Now, when we talk about St. Anthony's, and when we talk about the two different teams, look, everybody knows who the players are that you expect, the Biancardi's of the world. But when you have that third or fourth player that comes up and is making the most of her matchup, that you can't account for, and that's what evens out this game.
And to your point, Scarola only had 3 goals on the season coming into this game. Still a great year. Had 7 assists through 5 games. That's fantastic. But not on top of the scouting report if you're Robin Rooney, and then she comes out and nets a hat trick in the first 22 minutes of this game. Hard to deal with that.
Correct. It's just not a kid that you anticipated when you were doing your scouting report.
Again, McAteer continues to just get that flip.
She gets it to Tess Calabria, and Tess, she wins the draw for me all summer long. So this is something that I'm so used to seeing.
What a little dodge put on by Calabria. Duck inside. Calabria fake, and then a goal there. You see the talent for Tess Calabria.
One-on-one, nobody's going to stop Tess. And again, she's just that good. And she's patient, and she's smart, and her stick protection is ridiculous. And her first step, she always fakes on the goalie. She's very patient around the cage. I'm telling you right now, whatever college ends up with this kid, they're going to build their program around her. She is a program difference maker.
Potentially the top recruit in the class of 2024.
I think
and she gifts the first lead of this game to St. Anthony's. Almost looked like a great defensive end there. The way she bent the corner, lowered her shoulder, and turned. And that kind of athleticism, to your point, Tracy, just a differentiator in both the girls' and guys' game.
Well, and her IQ. Recognizing how much space she has, recognizing her matchup, recognizing, that she has a quick first step and that she could get to the inside on that. And then the patience to know that there was nobody coming on the backside to check her. She's just unbelievable. She wins every draw. Every draw.
And you got to give a whole lot of credit to McAteer not allowing Taylor a clear win.
No, McAteer's a stud.
And McAteer will run down the field, turn and fire a bouncer in. Oh, man, she is a stud. And an 8-6 advantage for St. Anthony's.
I tell you, this is the tale of two halves right here. Wantagh dominated the first half but couldn't pull away. They let St. Anthony scratch and claw. And now you have, McAteer takes the draw. Tess wins it. McAteer sprints to the cage. Again, when you're wanting to learn how to play this game, McAteer hustles down there, and she's the one that ends up with the ball. Think about that. You took the draw, and then you end up closest to cage and finish.
And it feels unfair to say because Wantagh has played such a good game.
Such a good
but
game. But
Tracy, you were noting the missed opportunities early on. They had that extra woman-up situation, chance to take, I believe it would have been a 4-0 lead or 3-0 lead at that point, and couldn't quite pull it off, missed 2 point-blank shots.
Exactly. And when that happens, you give another team like this life. You can't give St. Anthony's life because they will run with it.
And it's almost an unfair standard, right? Because you're asking these girls to be perfect, and they've played nearly perfect, but any little mistake, St. Anthony's makes you pay, and an opportunity to keep piling on here for the Friars, and ducking in, and another finish for Tess Calabria.
That was sick.
Man.
That's like ESPN stuff right there. And again, McAteer wins the draw. Tess gets it, dumps it back off, and then it's just a give and go. And that's the stuff that you can't teach. These girls love playing that wide open game, and also it's about the depth. So right now, St. Anthony's is a little fresher. Wantagh hasn't subbed, I don't think, one player this whole half. And the second half of the second half is when that starts to show.
St. Anthony's, I believe, had about 1 goal for the first 12 or so minutes of this game. Since then, I've ripped off 8 in the last 9 or 10 minutes. Just turning things around. To your point, that depth, it's not about the initial punch, right? It wears you down, and all of a sudden the floodgates open.
Well, especially when you watch St. Anthony's ride. To me, what separates these teams is the ride. When you have to take a kid, again, Maddie Taylor brings the ball up in the ride. She has to be exhausted because they just pressure her. It takes so much energy just to get the ball up and win the draw, and then you're the one on the ride trying to get it upfield. You're just mentally exhausted at that point.
And if you were Robin Rooney, is there another option there, or is Taylor, just because of how athletic St. Anthony's is on the ride, is Taylor the only player who can really bring the ball up against 100%. That defense?
Maybe Ingrelli would be another choice, so to speak, but...
And here's Taylor Cullen dispossessed, but Cullen wins it back. Nearly a big play for Wantagh, and St. Anthony's was having none of it.
No, they're so aggressive even after they turn the ball over, and that's what I love about the St. Anthony's team, is that they never give up on a play.
Well, Cassia will go to work for Mex. We'll reset up top to Christie. Christie had her shot deflected, and here's the chance on that ride, and Wantagh couldn't tell if they were calling for timeout, but no, the
No,
officials
it's going to be a yellow card.
just restarting things. So that's potentially a turning point for the Warriors. As you'd think with just 2 minutes left in this first half, they'd look to just sit on this ball maybe and get that final shot.
I would imagine it's just a dangerous check. I'm not really sure what the call was. I don't know if she clipped her in the head. Any check to the head, whether it's, purposeful, and I don't mean purposeful like she's aiming, but whether you're just like, anytime the stick gets close to the head, you're going to get a yellow.
So it'll be Nicole Baudo, but again, the question for Wantagh, just can you get the ball up the field?
Because right now they're still, even though they're man up, so to speak, in the ride, they can always find St. Anthony's can stop the ball. And there it is.
It was Angela Camerano pushing the ball up the field that time, the veteran defender. That's a crucial play.
Not understanding that call at all. I don't even understand it. So
Maddie Taylor will try to take advantage. A quick shot and a goal, and Wantagh, a little bit of life, which is 1:44 left in this first half.
Way to take advantage of that, Taylor. Is again, when the chips are down, this is who you go to. There's your money player, and she makes it count.
Maddie Taylor, according to Robin Rooney, the hardest shot on this Warriors team. She just absolutely rips it. You could see the RPM on that one just spinning into the net.
But she had, again, they went to the weak side, so they had all the players here, in the ride, just go opposite.
Yeah.
So they went opposite side, and then again, when Taylor's in a one-on-one, you're not going to stop her.
And now a little variation for Wantagh. It's Bridget Smith taking the draw control against Kat McAteer. Maybe that's Robin Rooney seeing Taylor getting a little bit fatigued, doing it over and over and over again. And there's a potential win for Smith, but Rose Christie and now McAteer doing a great job running that loose ball down.
She's so good. And those are, the things that don't show up in the stat book. What McAteer just did was amazing. Now, if I'm St. Anthony's here, I'm pulling it out. I'm going to try to hold it maybe. But I don't know if that's their style. Like, I would hold it for the last shot of the half. So I'm either going to be up 10-7 or 9-7, but I'm not giving Wantagh another chance. But I don't know if that's St. Anthony's style. They may try to go to goal as fast as they can.
They are cutthroat. Megan Kenny will just reset things to Meredith McFarland. McFarland, we haven't gotten to talk about a whole lot yet, but Summer Copeland saying McFarland, the smartest player she's ever coached, looking to be an architectural engineer at Virginia. And Summer Copeland saying, maybe she'll play lacrosse if it can fit into her schedule.
Yeah, that's tough, It's a full-time job, as you know, playing lacrosse in college. My daughter's doing it now. She's at Marist, and it's 24/7.
McFarland, the type of talent, again, who could just walk into Virginia and say, hey, you know what, I do want to play. And you kind of got to give her an opportunity, but has other grand aspirations outside of the world of lacrosse.
Yeah, Virginia's a tough program, though. Julie Myers runs a great program there.
Lacasio draining clock, 30 seconds left in this opening half of play.
And this is smart, because what you don't want to do is give Wantagh any momentum going into the second half.
And with about 20 seconds left, do you have a set play you'd go to in these type of situations? You just give it to your best player and clear out?
Yeah, I would probably go either a draw and dump with Calabrio's got the hot hand, or Biancardi and Lacasio let them do whatever they want.
St. Anthony's, the clock running down. Now, I'm not sure if they're aware of it. They really have to get going.
I don't think they're worrying about it.
And they're content to end the half with a 9-7 lead. Man, oh man, Wantagh got out to a 5-1 advantage, an 8-2 run for St. Anthony's to answer, but the Warriors sticking in this game.
Absolutely. The Warriors are right where they need to be if they can win a few draws in the first half. What they can't do, though, is come out cold in the second half. So the first 3 goals are going to matter.
So we'll step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network. St. Anthony's 9, Wantagh 7 at the half.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect sets and music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect sets and music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effect sets and music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Thank you for joining us back at Wantagh High School. Second half about to get underway. We want to take the opportunity to thank one of our sponsors, Long Island Metro Lacrosse. Our mission is to spread the positive spirit of lacrosse and support the highest ethical standards for all participants through annual initiatives including targeted grants, scholarship programs, lacrosse educational clinics, and events to raise awareness and resources in support of the game. Some of the fantastic events the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation puts on includes the Shootout for Soldiers, the Hall of Fame Lacks Like a Girl Tournament, High School Founders Cup Awards, scholarships, the 9/11 Memorial at Farmingdale State, wheelchair and special needs Lax Clinics, the Division I game called the Metro Cup, and the Division II game called the Legends Cup. Just a fantastic, fantastic company, Long Island Metro Lacrosse. And we wanted to remind you, coming up this Saturday, Gains for Brains on April 23rd. It's at Cold Spring Harbor. We have Northport against New Canaan, two of the top 4 teams in the country. Garden City versus Suffern. St. Anthony's against Greenwich Academy. Cold Spring Harbor against Sacred Heart, one of the best in Long Island. It's one of the best in Connecticut. And then Sunday, April 24th at Mount Sinai, it's Sayville taking on John Jay, 2 New Yorks. Powers, Eastport South Manor against Bronxville. And then Mount Sinai taking on Sacred Heart. And we wanted to thank, this is very convenient because she already has a headset on, Tracy Weiner for sponsoring the event. Thank you, Tracy.
Well, it's a great event. It's run by great people for a good cause. I had the pleasure of being a part of it several times. And I am excited to do the Northport New Canaan game and the Garden City Suffern game. I just think it's a great showcase of women's talent, and it's for a great cause, so it's always our pleasure.
Yeah, and we were talking about bragging rights there, the best in New York, best of Connecticut. You get a little bit of that state
There's no
pride
best
going.
in Connecticut. Cut it out. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
I'm all about Long Island lacrosse. But, again, these are just great matchups against great teams, and when it's for a great cause, that's all that really matters. And if you're a fan of girls lacrosse, the Gains for Brains tournament is a must.
And we have ourselves, speaking of great games, we have one right here. Wantagh getting out to an early 5-1 lead. St. Anthony's responded with an 8-2 run to end the first half. If you're Robin Rooney, what are you saying to your girls during halftime?
So you say to them, take a deep breath. We took the best hit that St. Anthony's could give us, right? We jumped out there. They came back at us. Now we're in a dogfight. It is the first 3 goals of this half that will make all the difference. If Wantagh gets them, they're up by a goal, and you're in it. If you let St. Anthony score the first 3, it's 12-7, and then they're starting to create some distance from you, and now you have a problem.
And this feels like a crucial factor for Wantagh, obviously, as it has been all game. This draw control, Madison Taylor out. I believe it's Sienna Diglio in, But
McAteer has been unbelievable. And, again, I was curious why she didn't start her from the beginning. And she's been dominant since Summer made that switch.
Yeah, so it's a sophomore, Bridget Smith for Wantagh. McAteer got hit in the head after earning that ball, and it'll be possession St. Anthony's.
And that's very lucky that you didn't get a yellow card right off the draw. I don't really understand why that didn't happen. They've been generous in giving out yellow cards today, except for the obvious.
What do you think got the Friars offense going? To me, it seemed like their ability to attack and transition, but also in settled situations, they were very good as that half went along.
They are, but I think it was the draw controls, and then, again, you made 1 or 2 big plays on defense, and that always hypes up the offense. So, I do think that St. Anthony's is just a confident team in general, and they were just looking for where they were going to attack from, and once they find that, then they say to each other, okay, we got this. Look, this is what worked, let's do this until they stop us.
It felt like Wantagh did a good job early on, keeping the game very clogged up, and then in those unsettled situations, the skill level and athleticism really shine through for the Friars.
Without a doubt, and again, it's the depth.
McFarlane and St. Anthony's picks up right where they left off.
I believe that was Lacasio, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you nailed it. It was Lacasio. It was McFarlane on the pass.
So McFarlane makes the pass. Lacasio sees the opening, and again, she's a lefty on the crease, just takes it to the hole.
First goal of the game, 5th on the season for Abby Lacasio. And again, that tells you of depth as a
Correct.
program when your top 10 player in America only has 5 goals in the first 5 games, and it's not really a big deal to anyone.
Well, but it tells you that that's our first goal of this game, comes in the second half, and they're still winning at this point. So she hasn't even begun to attack the cage. That's when we talk about the depth. It's not so much even the depth in the bench, it's the depth on the field.
So now a shift, Maddie Taylor, a little fresher after halftime. Again, she was dynamic early on in that draw control, and they'll run it back here.
Well, she was dynamic, but she wasn't drawing against McAteer, who I think is, again, one of the best draw kids on the island. What a clean win that was, though.
Wantagh absolutely needed it. A game-high 3-goal lead for the Friars.
And Wantagh's still in this. I mean, we've been talking about St. Anthony's a lot. You're talking about a 10-7 game with, 23 minutes left. I mean, obviously, it's far from over.
Maddie Taylor relatively held in check. 2 goals in that first half. The 4th and the 7th of the game for Wantagh. A combination of Ingrilli and Alaimo really needs to get going again. Just as this game went on in St. Anthony's, started dominating possession. They just didn't get a whole lot of opportunities, but those two have such good chemistry. Robin Rooney saying she's never seen 2 players better at finding each other.
And this is just a great game for them in general. Look, anytime you can play a game of this caliber and know you still have practice tomorrow, it's fun. And it doesn't mean anything in the Nassau County standings, nationally rankings, obviously it does.
Alaimo, good look, but that shot hit off the side of the goal from Nicholson, and St. Anthony's will attempt the clear. Christie into open grass.
Let's see if they can run the fast break here.
Christie dump-off pass, fumbled for a second by Biancardi, and St. Anthony's will have to reset.
They had it going on. Biancardi just missed that pass.
A momentary wide-open net for McFarland, but a great slide by Wantagh saved the goal.
Well, she could have cranked it up there and probably would have got shooting space. The fact that she did not look like she was going to goal, she did not get the call.
Nicholson up the field, and Grilly puts a dodge on. And Grilly harassed by Pacey. Lob pass, tic-tac-toe ball movement, and it looked like for a second there'd be an open shot on the end of it for Nicholson, but instead she'll earn free space.
I like the ball movement on that. I like the patience on it. Everybody touches it, and you end up with a almost center hash 8-meter.
Nicholson one-on-one with Lembo. A bouncer, Lembo able to deflect it up. The Stanford commit standing on her head.
And St. Anthony's is back there to get the ball. So it's almost, not only is it not a goal, but it's a turnover.
Felt like a golden opportunity for Wantagh, one that you need to pay off against this Friars team. Ball movement for St. Anthony's, sliding before firing was McFarland. She had a golden look, and now she loses the ball. And no whistle. And that's going to be something. Kat McAteer taking the collision, blocking the path of Julia Nicholson, so it'll be Wantagh ball.
Yeah, I'm just going to remain quiet on that little segment of plays right there because I'm not going to comment. We'll let it go. Wantagh hanging tough. Right now what they need to do is turn these calls in their favor into a goal.
Nicholson. And Wantagh again will take their time. Still a 3-goal game. To your point, Tracy, plenty of time on the clock. No need to rush things. Just run your offense and find the best shot.
And right now is a good time for them to do what they're doing right now. Take a breather. That was just a chaotic set of circumstances that just happened. Just let everybody breathe and reset for a minute. And don't get caught up in the chaos.
And to your point, their defense probably needs a rest. Maddie Taylor certainly needs to be able to sit for a second. She can't right now. She has the ball.
Well, and she's got a double team, so let's see what she does. There should be somebody wide open.
Taylor, instead attacking the double, firing, hit off the side of the goal.
Boy, she hit the pipe on that one. That is not her first pipe of the day.
Couple of close calls. Whitaker, extra pass, moving it along is Forthofer. Man, but that gives you an idea of the kind of player that Taylor's double team, says, all right, I'm going right at you. Third defender slides over, still nearly puts it in.
Well, once her hands are free, though, she is going to shoot. You know, it's just who she is and what she's about, and I love it about her.
And Grilly, the UNC commit. Slick pass and a goal as she finds Erin Whitaker for Whitaker's second.
When you take your time, when you move the ball, when everybody's cutting and occupying a defender, that's when your offense can find the open spaces. And you see it right here. Everybody's working. Everybody's occupying a defender. It leaves Whitaker in the one-on-one, and they expose that matchup.
Whitaker, her second goal of the game, 5th of the season. The Winthrop commit stepping up big time for Robin Rooney, and we're back to a 2-goal game with 19:19 on the clock.
It's a great start to the half for Wantagh. You know, St. Anthony's had a couple of opportunities. They did not cave in. They did not give up those quick goals, and now they have an opportunity to get themselves right back in this game.
I think you nailed it when you said just the first couple minutes of this half were so essential. It was going to be, is St. Anthony's going to continue that momentum from the first half and just run away with this game, or will Wantagh stand tall, I think especially defensively, and stay in it, and they took that punch, and they just found a response.
Agreed.
Loose ball initially scooped up by Rose Christie, and it'll be still with St. Anthony's.
Yeah, it was a legal stick check on that.
McAteer cutting to goal, and she takes a hard fall. McAteer has been on either end of a couple just brutal collisions in this game.
Well, because she's that kid, you know, she's going to go 100 miles an hour, and they're going to try to stop her any way they can.
Flanked by a sea of white, she'll try and find her way to net. Instead, we'll kick it out. Kenny, couple fakes, shot put on, knocked away. It's now the backup goaltender in for Wantagh. That is Lauren Rochelle.
It's a nice play, but unfortunately the clear is a problem.
And that shot wide of net, but good position for Lacasio, the superstar, doing the little things for the Friars as they'll keep the ball.
Big possession here for St. Anthony's, I think.
And an interesting situation for Rochelle coming into this game cold. Again, she's used to it. She's been playing with Shamlawful her whole life. They've had a similar arrangement their whole lives. Robin Rooney said they'll come up to her and said, hey, if you combine our stats, we're basically the top goalie in Nassau. And Robin's like, you guys can't do that. But it's pretty fun. Those two have great chemistry, and they're okay. If one of them is really cooking and doing well in net, they're fine with Robin Rooney sticking with her. Ambitious attempt to get it inside by McAteer as she was deterred, but hit in the process.
You know, but the thing about the goalie position is that it's not like you can put them in for 5 minutes and, you know, give somebody a break like you can every other spot on the field. So they're either playing or they're not. It's one of those difficult positions to pull.
McAteer. Bouncer. Oh, what a shot from the Navy commit. Might have been the goal of the day.
I tell you what, that had a whole bunch of extra on that because McAteer was not feeling it. She's been getting banged around. She's been getting knocked around this whole game. And she just nails this shot. I mean, I don't know any goalie that's going to make that save.
The emotional leader of this team can play every position on the field. For Summer Copeland, she's been so big on the draw control, so big defensively, and now getting involved with the scoring, her second of this game, and back to a 3-goal advantage for the Friars.
To me, she is right now the player of the game in my eyes. She has made all the difference by taking the draws, her offensive play, her just controlling of everything that's been going on here.
And it doesn't slow down for St. Anthony's this week. On Wednesday, they have Manhasset taking on a Connecticut powerhouse on Saturday. It's on and on and on for Summer Copeland, but that's why you go to a program like St. Anthony's, right? It's to consistently be in those types of games.
No question about it. No question. I'm excited for Wednesday's game. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, and getting to travel down and play McDonough, matchup with two of the top 6 teams in the country. And Summer Copeland said, we almost wish we had another shot at it. We'd gotten to play Wantagh and Syosset before that game, gotten into a little bit of rhythm. But Instead, still a 10-7 game. You get a chance to learn everything about your team, taking on a program like McDonough in Maryland, and Summer Copeland noting that they're going to benefit from it down the road against Catholic League competition, as there's a heck of a play weaving through a sea of white. Tanner Scarola for her 4th goal.
Scarola has made the most, as I say, of her matchups. And when you watch, so obviously, again, Biancardi is going to get the 1 matchup, and they needed to take this timeout here, and we can get back to that after the timeout.
So we'll step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network, a game-high 4-goal advantage for St. Anthony's.
The best action shots and the best angles look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Back to it on the Varsity Media Sports Network game-high 4-goal lead for St. Anthony's, and a look at some of our upcoming lacrosse sportscasts here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Tomorrow, heck of a game on the boys' side, south side, taking on your Dalers, Tracy Weiner, who have gotten off to a great start this year. And then, as we noted, St. Anthony's a couple big games this week, taking on Manhasset on Wednesday, Kellenberg, Syosset, Spring Break Special at 11 a.m. on April the 21st, and then a big matchup in Suffolk County as West Islip takes on Bayport Blue Point.
What a great week right there in the break. It'll be the first tough matchup, I think, for the Daler boys on, their game against Southside. But they are undefeated, I believe, at this time.
Southside up to a heck of a start as well. We want to remind you, if you want to participate and you want to be watching one of your teams playing these great games on the Varsity Media Sports Network, you can bring your game to life via Varsity Media Sportscast. We have announcers, we have instant replay, we have multiple cameras, graphics. It's great for rivalry games, for senior days, and for general promotion of your team. If you want to participate, to book a sportscast, you can contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit varsitymedia.net. So the timeout taken by Wantagh, down by 4. And is this another one of those moments where Robin Rooney, she said her big emphasis with her team is the mental game. It feels like this is where you have to be so mentally tough against the St. Anthony's team that's always a threat to run away with the ball game.
Well, part of it is also when you get to this part of the game where you need 4 goals just to tie. So you have to scratch and claw, like I always say, your way back into it. But everybody's tired physically. When you're tired physically, your mental game starts to lapse a little. You see more of the calls. St. Anthony's looks a little fresher right now. And that's where you start now. The officials all of a sudden, the calls start going against you, and then it's just, downhill. So what you want to do right here is possession, possession, possession. So if I'm Wantagh, if I win this draw, I'm going down there and I'm going to run some clock off, and I'm just going to keep making sure that I get that high percentage shot. That's how I'm going to get myself back in the game.
And it just sort of feels like most teams can't expose the fact that Wantagh, again, lost 8 starters from last year against St. Anthony's. You see some of that talent drain a little bit. It's not even talent drain's the wrong word. I'll say experience drain. Because Robin Rooney, she's some great young players off her bench, but as you noted, hasn't really subbed in this game because this is just a tough situation to throw a freshman or sophomore into.
And you're playing one of the best teams, not just on Long Island, not just in New York State, but in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, nothing to be taken lightly. St. Anthony's is who they are. And, I give Robin all the credit in the world for having them on her schedule because not a lot of teams would even do that.
And Wantagh an opportunity to run some clock here.
I am impressed with Wantagh, I have to tell you. I'm surprised. They only lost by 1 to Garden City, but that's going to be a replay in the playoffs. I think that Wantagh is a team that everybody kind of needs to watch out for once it comes, May.
And you talked to Robin Rooney. She said, look, obviously I'm biased, but I feel like we have the best team in 2019 as Taylor's off the mark there. Good positioning from Alimo to maintain possession. She said, I thought we should have beaten Cold Spring Harbor. She said, I thought we would have beaten Manhasset with just a slightly better start a year ago. That still a 1-goal game. Manhasset succeeding, playing keep away a little bit down the stretch of that one. And she noted, hey, I think we have the talent to beat whoever's on our schedule this season.
It's interesting. to get to that level when you've never won before, or you've only won.
I think 2015 and 2017 for Wantagh, but again, not in this last couple of years, not with this current group.
And that's the hardest part, is to teach them how to get to that next level game and to hold the win and move on. That's always difficult.
Oh, and a big-time collision as Faith Donahue knocked down, was trying to pivot into open space, and Megan Kenny was just waiting for her. So
yeah.
Golden chance for Wantagh, but down by 4, 15 minutes left. Essential that you pay this off.
She has a great spot, though.
Donahue against the Stanford commit Lembo and bounces it high. Possession will stay with the Warriors.
I do like the low shot selection. I think it needs to be more of a low line drive as opposed to a high bounce.
Taylor trying to burrow her way inside, dispossessed, trying to turn, but such a quick stick to recover.
She always has a double team on her, so it's so frustrating. She'll turn one way into another defender.
And Grilly. Alimo, again, over 30 goals this season. Feels like her opportunity to maybe step up, but they'll send a double her way as well. Summer Copeland not letting Wantagh beat her with their best players.
No, and it's shown on the scoreboard. The second half, Wantagh's had, I think, 1 goal.
And here's Taylor finding a little bit of space, and Grilly deterred.
In women's lacrosse, if you can play half of a half and only give up 1 goal, you're playing really well.
Especially against an offense like Wantagh. And again, Wantagh in their own right, 17th ranked team in America.
Correct.
The talent, as we noted, maybe not quite the same depth as St. Anthony's. The frontline talent as good as anywhere in the country.
No question. You have, your top 3 players are going to top 3 programs in the country. How many high school teams can say that?
And your 4 through 6 are all headed Division I, which is also pretty rare.
Agreed. When you've graduated a large group that went Division I as
exactly. Not just went, but playing really well. As we noted, Shannon Sullivan, 2-time CAA Rookie of the Week at Towson. Is that pass too high? And St. Anthony's picture-perfect defensive possession stayed patient and just kind of wore Wantagh out.
Absolutely. And you can stay patient for so long. At some point, you want to go to goal, and then they just shut that down. So let's see if St. Anthony's now can turn this into a 5-goal lead.
Great deterrence that time from Amanda Pacey, who, according to Summer Copeland, as a sophomore, already their best one-on-one defender.
She's so good. And again, I get the pleasure of seeing her all summer long on my Yellow Jacket team. She is amazing.
And a whole lot of speed the other way. Great save by Rochelle. And St. Anthony's able to recover on the deflection, but Rochelle doing a good job coming in cold in the second half.
It's the mindset of a goalie, right? I had some great ones at Farmingdale, and I didn't say too many words to them, mostly like, bye, I love you. That's all you really say to your goalie. That's
really good.
When they're as talented as they are.
Yeah.
I love them all, but, you just don't mess with a goalie's mindset.
Right, and, that has to be such a challenge, though, coming in the second half of a game against a team like St. Anthony's. You don't have to acclimate to the speed, to the volume of the shots.
You don't, but in club ball, if they all play club lacrosse, that's how it works. You play a half a game.
So Rochelle used to that setup, and again, her and Shamloff have been playing together for a long time, but nobody's ready for that. The quick passing, and Ava Biancardi has a hat trick, her 3rd goal, and a game-high 5-goal advantage for St. Anthony's.
What a beautiful pass, though, by Lacasio. She laid it right on her stick. There was no doubt about it, and Biancardi's not going to miss that shot.
And Biancardi, the Duke commit, and that's one of her strengths, that ability to cut from up top. Her shot selection has gotten so much better this year. She's up to 14 goals on the season, leading St. Anthony's in that category, and the Friars are rolling to start this second half.
They are, and they're smart, and they're patient right now. They know they don't have to rush. They don't have to catch anybody. And at this point, with 11, 12 minutes to go, here we are. Can they score 5 goals just to tie in almost 12 minutes? What's it going to take for that to happen? And for St. Anthony's, do you care if you win by 1 or 10? As long as you win.
Maddie Taylor has been a little bit stronger in the second half on the draw control. That one takes a bounce in favor of the Friars and run down by Rose Christie. I would say one of the unheralded heroes of this St. Anthony's team. Is that was a risky pass on the clear, but the Friars able to get it up the field.
Yeah, Rose Christie herself, she's like I agree. She's having a.
Oh, and here comes Calabria again. Sorry about that, Tracy.
No, that's okay. No worries. She's having a nice game. Only a junior, so she'll be back for another year. And that's the thing about when you look at St. Anthony's roster, they're losing a couple of kids, but they got a squad and a half coming back.
It's true for Wantagh as well. Maddie Taylor obviously graduating, but again, the fact that Eva Ingrilli and Madison Alimo, both juniors, still just absurd to think about, as Calabria lost the ball that time going to net.
And one of the things, again, that Tess is going to, have to work on, she's only a sophomore, is understanding the pressure, how much time you have off the 8 meters. She loves to run it in off the 8 meter.
Oh, and what a run for Wantagh on the response. The connection that time between, it looked like Eva Ingrilli, I believe, hitting a limo there.
What a great transition goal. It's beautiful. It's a quick setup, and then it's a bam-bam play. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. Perfect shot selection, but that comes off an 8 meter. Again, what we were talking about is not everything you didn't need to score there. So when we talk about plays in a game, you're already winning by 5. You need to possess the ball. You need to keep it out of Wantagh's stick. So although you had a nice 8 meter opportunity, it turned into a fast break goal the other way, and it gives Wantagh a new life. And
actually, it was Juliana Sarasi on that goal, who does not play a whole lot for Robin Rooney. So a big opportunity paid off in transition for the freshman midfielder.
It's a big goal right there. Let's see if Wantagh can build on it.
And I think this is a situation where Robin Rooney has to make some of those substitutions, has to trust her depth to some extent. And Sarasi, a freshman, again, who hasn't played a whole lot in her first year, paying off that trust in a big-time way as Alimo committed the infraction that time.
Correct. But if I'm here now, again, I'm curious how many draw controls Tess Calabria has won today, because I feel like once they switched to McAtee, she went to her every time.
That combination just deadly ducking in, about as easy of a finish as Abby Lacasio will get. And sometimes there are periods where she's quiet on this team. You forget there's a top 10 player in America who can score with that kind of ease.
Absolutely. And when she has the right matchup and when it's the right time, she's going to take her shot. She's very comfortable right there. She's feeling better right now. And, that was just a perfect play for the lefty down low.
What really makes her special, someone who's been around her for a lot of her life?
I think what really makes her special, number one, is her work ethic. She's a kid that isn't satisfied with her own talent. She's constantly working to get better. Look, she has a great pedigree. Her brother was at University of Maryland. Joe played on national championship teams there. She's always just been a kid that's around the sport. Her dad, her uncles, the whole family. She's a Lacasio. That is a lacrosse name. So her IQ is at a whole nother level. She understands the game at a level that we as coaches can't teach her.
Ball up for grabs, and it feels like it's been St. Anthony ever since the first couple of minutes of this game as Calabria's harangued going up the field.
But again, getting that ground ball, Tess is always the one winning the draw on the 50-50s, and that's a stat that always will determine who comes out on top in a game.
How much of that is athleticism versus instincts for Tess Calabria?
Oh, she's so athletic, it's ridiculous, but it is her... she just has a knack for it. You just have to have a knack for it. So she's the one on the circle for me, as well as, I have the kid from Ward Melville, Retzclaff, Emilio, who's another one, just a grinder, 50-50 ground balls. You just can't teach that. Now, Wantagh's going to have to come out and start playing the ball. And you see, that's why we wish we had a shot clock, because you can't do this in college. You can't just play around with it. And then when they pull them out like that, now all of a sudden the goals come easy.
Easy offense, and you were right on top of it, Tracy. The dump off, and Ava Biancardi her fourth and her most automatic of the game.
So when a team comes out and the slides are further and you set up the one-on-ones, there's no way Wantagh is going to survive that. It's just not going to happen against a team such as. Same way I'm sure that when St. Anthony's played McDonough at the end, McDonough was exposing St. Anthony's coming out at them. When you play the better teams, they understand, the little nuances of the game.
And it's too much space to allow those types of athletes, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, Biancardi's going to have a field day.
So fast, so skilled, and so coordinated.
When you have to pull everybody out in the one-on-ones, now it really exposes those matchups.
Yeah.
So who's going to guard Lacasio in a one-on-one down low on the weak side? Who's going to get Calabria? Who's going to get Biancardi? You know, it's just too much. There's just too much going on. Then you have, Scarola, who's having a field day today. Everybody steps up and gets it done.
And to your point, those slides that you're able to make when you're contained, all of a sudden there's too much room to recover.
Correct. There is no room to recover. It's in the cage by the time you recover.
Lacasio trying to continue that trend. Her pass a little too tall for Scarola, and it always felt like a matter of time for St. Anthony's in this game. That's nothing against Wantagh, but there was a certain sloppiness early for the Friars that has gone away as this game has gone along.
Well, I will tell you, when they play Manhasset on Wednesday, they can't do that. There can be no sloppiness to start the game. They're going to have to come out all, pistons on fire.
How would you compare Manhasset to Wantagh as two of the top teams in Nassau and the public school side?
Probably similar, but I would imagine that Manhasset has a little more depth.
Catherine Killian, who's just been awesome this year for Robin Rooney, does a great job clearing the ball that time. Rooney called Killian perhaps the biggest pleasant surprise on our team this year, a junior who, again, playing behind all the talent, including Booton last season, didn't get a big opportunity, but she's just been lights out for this Wantagh side. Has had a couple really good moments in this game. There's a great pass and tackled as she was shooting. Oh, man.
I love it.
That was a football-type play. Julia Nicholson hitting the turf. Officials say play on.
Yeah, they tried to set up an ISO for Taylor, but her ISO'd into a double team, so that didn't really work out, so they had to go to their next option.
It's not nice, though, when there are two defenders there.
Yeah.
And Whitaker.
Sometimes.
To your point, we have seen Taylor beat two defenders and get a pretty clean look off. Not too many players who can do that, but Maddie Taylor's in that category, and she's attempted again right now.
But it just goes to show you, again, when we talk about Amanda Pacey, she's only a sophomore, and she's really held this All-American in check as a sophomore, So kudos to her as well. And that's a stat, again, that's going to go unnoticed. But Amanda Pacey's had a quietly defensive dominating game.
Up to 3 All-Americans on offense for Robin Rooney. And that gives you an idea when we talk about talent deficits. It's so relative, right? Like we've driven it home, but 2 of the top 20 teams in America. You're talking about the thinnest of margins. Correct. At that point.
You're talking about a play here and a play there, and a run here and a run there. But it always seems to be on Long Island, at least, that St. Anthony's gets the better of it.
And Taylor had that pass deterred. Ground ball dribbles out to a Warrior, and it's scooped up by Whitaker.
This is taking a lot of time, though. I'm surprised that Wantagh is not attacking the cage a little quicker. They're down by 6 now we're almost under 6 minutes to go. You would have thought at the 8-minute mark when they started this possession that they would have a little more urgency.
Do you think any of that's just fatigue?
Probably. It could be.
Alaimo trying to find someone. The loft pass, and there's a quick goal. That connection, Alaimo to Ingrilli, a little ESP, and with 6 minutes left, a 5-goal game.
That was a great play, and they need to do that a lot more. And at this point, everybody knows you have your big 3. So we run like a 52 type play. We just get everybody else out of the way and let these girls go one-on-one against the defenders and see if the defenders can stop them. I mean, that's what you do with your All-Americans. That's what you do with your best players. Put the game in their hand and let's see what they can come up with.
And again, Ingrilli and Alaimo have chemistry unlike anything Robin Rooney has ever seen. She was telling me in practice a lot of times her younger defenders will come up to her and say, "Hey, coach, what are we supposed to do there? How are we supposed to defend that?" And she'll look at them and say, I really don't know. I can't tell you anything.
But it makes the girls on the team better. Could you imagine if I'm a goalie and these are the shots that I'm facing every day, or I'm a defender, and I always remember one of my best Farmingdale kids who went to Maryland, Nadine Hadnagi. She always said to me, "Coach, at practice, I always guard Taylor Cummings because she makes me a better player." Because Taylor was the best player in the world, and I think she still is. And Nadine guarded her every day in practice just to make herself better.
And to your point, you play a team like St. Anthony's, and sure, you're going up against two of the top players in America and Biancardi and Lacrosse, but it feels like, hey, I see this every day. It's tough, but at least it's relatable, right? It's not a foreign thing to go against that type of talent.
No, it's not. And again, they relish it. They look for it because in the Catholic League, they don't see it that much.
As that pass zipped in, oh, a magic trick from Biancardi. As good as Wantagh is, you don't see that in practice every day.
That's the exclamation point. I'm telling you right now. That's, the kid got hammered here. There was no call. And that's Biancardi saying, you can't do that to us without us, making a statement. That's just a great play. You can't teach that kind of stuff. And I love it. I love those kind of shots. Biancardi's a big kid. She's hard to stop.
5'11" lefty heading to Duke next year, picking up her 5th goal, has scored 3 of the last 4 to help put this at maybe not an insurmountable, but a commanding 6-goal lead for St. Anthony's.
That's just a pretty goal. And I can't wait to see her next year on the field with Dee Simone and everybody. Duke is having a great season as it is. They just had that big upset win over Boston College over the weekend. And they're a team on the climb. And could you imagine if Charlotte North never left Duke to go to BC, how much better they would actually be?
It's a great hypothetical. North leading Boston College to the national championship a year ago, though Ava Biancardi will likely have something to say about that. Down the line, her 6th goal of this game. And not much you can do about that if you're Wantagh.
And you want to know the truth? Biancardi's had a quiet game, and then you say she's got 6. So that's what I'm saying. You look at this team, and we're talking about all these other pieces, and then Biancardi, she has her 6th goal. That's unbelievable.
And before that run, I was going to say, we talked a lot about Amanda Pacey and the job that she's done. We haven't gotten a chance to talk a whole lot about the Wantagh defenders and how much they contain Lacasio and Biancardi, but feels a little more hollow now that Biancardi's going on this run. But I think it's still worth commending them because for so much of this game, they held her in check, they held Lacasio in check, and now it just sort of feels like the floodgates have opened.
Yeah, well, I think it's also smart of St. Anthony's to use their other matchups, their 4, 5, 6, to kind of break the game wide open for what you see now is everybody's tired, and so you have your 1, 2, and 3s are now starting to step up. But I think, again, the score is not indicative of how well Wantagh has played today. A couple of plays here, a couple of plays there.
Maddie Taylor, quick inside dodge and an answer, and that's what your best player does. Your team has lost all momentum, and you could tell Taylor a little fired up going right down the field and tacking one on.
Yeah, and that's also, Amanda Pacey being only a sophomore overplaying and then giving up the inside crease roll. And I talk about, and you'll see where she comes out to play her, you cannot play her that far out and give up the inside crease roll. So that's something that Pacey's going to learn in the next 2 years of her career is, when to sit back and when to be super aggressive. She had no slide help there. She had nobody on the pie slice there in case she got beat.
Madison Taylor, her 3rd goal of this one. She is now up to a ridiculous 35 on the season through 8 games.
And to be honest with you, as a coach, what I always said to my high school team, I love these games. Win, lose, draw is irrelevant as long as in June we're holding the hardware. And that's really what it's all about, because you could go undefeated for the season, and if you're not the Nassau County champs, your season was not a success.
And to your point, as good as Manhasset, Cold Spring Harbor, and Syosset are, you're not going to see another team like St. Anthony's the rest of this year.
No, and they don't even see those teams in the playoffs. They might see Manhasset. I'm assuming they're all, I don't know if Wantagh is a B or a C school anymore, but they in the playoff structure is A, B, C, and D. So Wantagh being a C school would probably play Cold Spring Harbor. They're a D school now.
It's constantly shifting here on
It
Long
is.
Island.
Well, it goes by population.
And Cold Spring Harbor certainly a team that's in that conversation. Wantagh, we mentioned losing to them in 2019. We'll get to see just how good that Manhasset team and an early comparison between them and Wantagh when those two teams play on Wednesday. Again, that game going to be on the Varsity Media Sports Network, so certainly tune in. That pass is slipped in, and a nice save by Rochelle getting the foot down to stop Biancardi. And trying to break was Wantagh, but couldn't connect on that pass up the field. And possession will remain with the Warriors.
I love Summers losing it. She's hilarious. She reminds me of myself on the sideline. Well, nothing reminds me of myself on the sideline, except for maybe Joe Spallina back in the day. But Summers doing a pretty good job.
Summer Copeland, a heck of a player in her own right, part of some great Ward Melville teams back in the early 2000s.
Super competitive. You would have thought after having a child she would have mellowed out, but clearly no. A very good friend of mine and a wonderful human being and just the perfect fit for St. Anthony's. And in all due respect, it takes a special coach to coach a team like this. And Summer's done it for so long, and they've been so successful under her reign.
Madison Taylor, good loft pass, and the bouncer off the mark that time for the freshman who got the previous goal, and Juliana Sarasi, another great save for Lembo. And to your point, obviously, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of coaches listening saying, like, we'd love to have the problems that Summer Copeland has with a plethora of both high-level Division I talent and just tons of Division I talent in general, as being Cardi tacks on a 7th goal. She's been absolutely dominant in the second half as she scored 5 of the last 6 for St. Anthony's, but I mean, you know this coaching some great Farmingdale teams. There's a real challenge to balancing all that depth and keeping everyone happy, right? Because all these girls, they could be the best player for their hometown high school team, but they're choosing to come here and be in this environment.
Well, and we talk about it in college as well, that nobody gives Kathy Reese at Maryland the credit that she deserves for keeping all those egos in check. She gets the best players in Maryland, the best players in the country, and she always finds a way to make it, whether you're the number 1 player or number 30. Everybody feels important. And I always say that about Jenny Levy. I talked to her about it over the summer at UNC. Also, I mean, it's an all-star team that you're coaching.
Yeah.
How do you keep everybody happy when everybody was the best kid on their high school or their club team? How do you keep all those kids so happy?
What do you think is the key to managing those personalities? And St. Anthony's will look to tack on one more. Maybe a couple more. Fake and an easy put in that time for Tess Calabria.
Well, now it's getting to the point where St. Anthony's is just trying to flex their own muscle right here and let everybody know that, when they open up Newsday tomorrow, that they're going to see a score that's reflective of one of the top teams in the country.
And Tracy, back in 2009, you were the number 1 team in America back at Farmingdale. What is that I don't even want to say pressure, but I guess the simplest way to phrase it, what is that situation like?
It's an unbelievable journey, if I could say that to you as the coach, because so much of it is out of your control. So much of it is the kids just doing what you need them to do, and you're hoping and praying that you prepared them well enough. And so much of it is also just having fun with your team, appreciating your coaching staff. It's all of it. And that was a dream season. We went undefeated wire to wire that year.
As Calabria goes coast to coast, throws it right into the waiting stick of Rochelle Calabria. I mean, to your point, her ability, it's almost like a basketball type play, but to box out on those draw controls, right? Her body positioning, she's so good. And she does work early, right? She gets to it, she gets in position, and she wins every time, seemingly.
Every time. She does it for me all summer long. She does it on her high school team. She's going to do it at the next level. Again, whatever coach ends up with Tess Calabria is going to be the happiest coach in America.
And you can imagine what she's going to be like as a senior. Because to do that, I mean, so much of it is just physicality, and she's undersized at this point in her life, but that's going to change in 2 years.
But she's also the hardest working kid around. Off season, in game, and so humble. Like, you'll say to her, Tess, you realize how good you are, right? And she'll be like, oh, coach. Nope. She's just the most awesome human being, which is a blessing for us.
It's amazing to hear, and you talk to both these coaching staffs, and that's true for the Stars on both sides. And we want everyone to stay tuned after the game. We'll choose the breakout goaltending save of the game. There are a couple of good candidates. Even in a game with 30 combined goals, there have been some great stops. Winding inside, looking for maybe just one final exclamation mark was Tanner Scarola. But there is really something to being that number 1 team or a top 10 team in the country where you just get everyone's best shot week after week after week. And a lot of times, I mean, for St. Anthony's, you're getting the best shot of a McDonough or a Wantagh. Like, it's not low-level teams. You're getting really talented players who desperately want to beat you. And
Correct.
to
the X is on your back the whole season.
To the point of a Summer Copeland, that's where that job, that's seemingly for some, I'm sure the envy of a lot of coaches, that's where it gets really, really difficult. But she does such a good job with it.
It is difficult managing everything. You know, you're managing the kids, you're managing their parents sometimes, which is, you know, an unfortunate part of sports. And, you know, you're just trying to keep everybody happy and having a great time.
Free position, and Julia Nicholson couldn't
What a
put
great
it
save.
home.
That was
Yeah.
a great save, though.
I was going to say, Shea Lembo, heck of a game. And I think one of the separating factors, Wantagh has been really strong in net through this game, but Lembo, especially in the second half, has made a number of crucial stops.
She has, but, you know, the defense has also set her up for those low percentage shots from the offense. And in order for a goalie to be great, you have to make the saves you're supposed to and then pull a few out that you weren't.
Alex Moss will help run out the clock. It was an early 5-1 lead for Wantagh, but the St. Anthony Friars responded, reasserting themselves as one of the top 6 teams in America. A big 19-11 win on the road at Wantagh.
What a great game. I think that, you know, St. Anthony showed you today why they should be included in that top-level conversation. Every reason to get frustrated and not show, you know, that they have the ability to come back. Not only did they come back, but the second half was St. Anthony's dominated.
And what did you learn about this Wantagh team that we noted had lost 8 of 11 starters, great start to the year, but hadn't really been tested yet, got that one big game against Garden City, tough game against North Shore, but hadn't played that premier opponent, and that start, I think, told you a lot about what they could be.
Well, what they can be, and they should watch this game and think to themselves, we still have a couple of weeks before the Nassau County playoffs start, and what we need to do is put our nose to the grindstone and try to get to this level, because they have the ability to do that. They are going to be that team that just, you know, gets to work. And again, they could be that team that's holding the hardware at the end of the season, and they'll look at a game like this and say, it's because of the St. Anthony's game that we are now Nassau County champions.
So we'll take a quick break on the Varsity Media Sports Network and come back with the save of the game.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effects set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Back one final time at Wantagh High School. We'll get a quick look at our save of the game. It was a late stop by Shea Lembo, the Stanford commit. Tracy, you were talking her up all game, and you got to see some of the pure athletic ability on the final save in this game.
Well, it's his stick position. Watch where his stick is now and watch where she makes the save. So, you know, you're a shooter. You're going down there. You think you're going opposite stick side. And what does she do? Her hands are so quick that she just swallows it up.
Again, this is her 6th career start, and we wanted to remind you our breakout save of the game. You can check it out at breakoutgoaltending.com. Give us a call at 877-GOAL-121, breakoutgt@gmail.com. And a look at our upcoming schedule here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Again, a big game on the boys' side, undefeated Farmingdale taking on a top program in Southside. And then on the girls' side of things, a matchup of 2 of the top 4 programs in our Varsity Media Sweet 16 rankings. It's St. Anthony's against Manhasset. Then a spring break special, 11 a.m., April 21st, Syosset against Kellenberg. Then we finish off with a battle of two Suffolk powerhouses, West Islip against Bayport Blue Point. And a reminder that the action does not stop with the week. It continues into the weekend. Our Gains for Brains games, April 23rd at Cold Spring Harbor. Northport against New Canaan, 2 of the top 4 teams in America. And then at 1 p.m., Garden City for Suffern. St. Anthony's playing again, 3rd time on Varsity Media this week against Greenwich Academy. Cold Spring Harbor against Sacred Heart to wrap up that day. And then we move over to Mount Sinai on Sunday the 24th. Sayville against John Jay. Eastport South Manor against Broxville. And Mount Sinai taking on Sacred Heart. You can catch all those games again right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A big shout out to my broadcast partner, Tracy Wiener, both for joining me today and also for sponsoring Gains for Brains. We so appreciate it, Tracy. To your point, a great cause and some fantastic competition.
Love it. Anybody that wants to help promote girls lacrosse, I'm all for it.
All right, and with that, we'll just about do it. Big shout out to our producer, AJ, our entire crew here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. For Tracy, I'm Gavin Shull, signing off from Wantagh High School.